My name is Alex, and I'm a co-founder at SiteCraft, the web development company. I'm honored to be here today with you guys, and today is a big challenge for me to talk about technical stuff because I'm responsible for sales and project management and business development. And yeah, as Arda said, I'm a bit nervous, so don't judge too hard. Today I'd like to talk about component-based approach in front-end development. We have been providing HTML, CSS services for almost 7 years now. And to be honest, we are still noticing that some companies don't use this approach in their daily work or simply aren't aware of it. And we would like to change that. Regardless of the company size, people keep producing plain HTML, CSS, JavaScript files, even when it does not make sense to do so. So today, we'd like to talk about this approach and hopefully make the world of front-end development better, easier, and more comfortable for you guys. We are positive that component-based approach is going to change the way you perceive front-end development. The idea itself is not new. It's been around for quite a while, and I'd like to begin with the case which we had with one of our clients. It was a Fortune 100 fastest growing company, and applying component-based approach helped us to deliver the job within a phenomenally fast turnaround time. So the job involved UI, UX design, front-end development, and back-end programming. Client contacted us almost last minute because they wanted help with front-end piece, and they needed to meet their internal deadline. So as for the project, it was a huge corporate portal, and we had the following challenges. Tight deadline, as always, 6 business weeks. Low budget, partially provided design. There were about 150 pages planned, and they gave us like 20% designs completed to date, and they said, okay, we'll be sending you more designs as the process goes. So we had 3 processes which had to be run in parallel: design, front-end, and back-end. And now picture this: a bottleneck in at least one of these stages would have caused the whole project to be jeopardized. And we could not allow that to happen, honestly. So we started analyzing the situation. We had a few meetings with the client, and we learned from them that the rest of the designs that they were still planning to provide would be more or less similar. And given all the aforementioned input, we have decided, like, the only thing we could think of at that point was component-based approach. And we had to apply it to front-end development in particular to succeed. So just for you guys to understand, there were around 650 hours of development total estimated by the team, and they wanted it to get done in 6 weeks. If you think about it, it's about 100 hours of pure development per week, not to mention the fact that we still had to test that thing. Additional complications were that we needed to do the code as they were provided the designs, plus they requested weekly delivery. So what is component-based front-end development? In a nutshell, component-based front-end development is based on component-based approach. I'm sorry for this tautology and mixed words. So this is a pretty much common term in the world of programming. According to this methodology, we do not create pages. We focus on components instead. And they, in turn, allow us to create new templates, and we create pages using the templates in return. The components can be anything. They consist of lower-tier items such as links, buttons, input fields, whatever. Now, the most exciting thing about this situation is only you and your client define what is a component for you guys in a particular design. You get together and discuss what you want to be sliced individually, be it a slideshow, a gallery, a drop-down menu, some widget in the sidebar, whatever. you decide on that, and you follow the plan. Usually, like the general rule is, those entities, I mean components, they are repeating throughout the site and can be reused elsewhere without any negative impact on the layout. So regard it as a constructor, where you have a puzzle which you can assemble if you know how to do that. So what does the component look like? It is a set of isolated SCSS, SAS, or LESS files with Pug, Twig, or Blade templates composed together with JavaScript files. It all depends on what specific tools you prefer to use in your everyday workflow. How is component-based approach different from the traditional development? Well, in case of the traditional development, while a page is being coded, usually nothing else can happen. So you have a backend team who have to sit and wait for the page to be completed. On top of that, not only do you need to complete the page, to code the page, you still need to test that and then get your client's approval. And we all know that between the testing and approval, there's normally a huge time gap. Depends on how much back and forth you guys may have with the client, right? So last but not least, when 2 or more developers start working on the front-end code concurrently, odds are that something may go wrong. And after that, they will have to sync up and make sure their code is consistent. That will require additional time, and that in turn might jeopardize the delivery. With the component-based approach, it's completely different. We don't wait for the page to be delivered. We focus on components instead, the ones we have previously confirmed with your client. The work is still being done concurrently. However, every module is tested individually and confirmed with your client. And while one module is being tested, you are free to proceed with the next one, with another one, the ones you have in your pipeline. So it makes a huge difference when you have a large project like this. As soon as the module is finalized by your client, you can take it and reuse it for any other page, again, you have in your design, or numbers of pages. You don't create anything new, you reuse existing stuff. So the compilation of components into a web page takes considerably less time than building this thing from ground up, according to the traditional model. So with that being said, I can firmly say that going the component-based front-end development route is the right choice for big projects with tight deadlines and possibly low budgets. Doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So let's see why this is so. Excuse me. So we had sensitive timeline in our case, right? And thing is, we were able to deliver the job faster than the client needed us to. We exceeded their expectations. Primarily, this happened because we were able to ensure that 3 processes, design, front-end, and back-end, could run in parallel. You can see it at the bottom of the slider. Again, that makes a huge difference. Cost and budget. Like I said, the budget was not unlimited, it was limited. So in case of component-based approach, the cost for the development of every consequent page is significantly lower, which you can see on the right graph, as opposed to traditional front-end development. The more pages you normally create, the more time it takes, the more the costs are, the more client pays. One more thing. We were able to assign lower grade developers to the job. We taught them how to do the job, how to apply component-based approach to their front-end skills. So, in other words, the entry level for you guys is not the highest you might think. We spent probably around 3 days teaching a mid programmer how to do the job. After that, I was like, he came up to me and said, "Hey, Alex, look, I'm so grateful for you that you taught me how to do this. I can't understand how I used to do this stuff before big projects like this. So yeah. And as the final output, not only we delivered the job to the client, the pages he requested, but we also provided them with a front-end style guide. The front-end style guide is basically a library of all components created to date, which we hand in to the client. They take it, and they can proceed with the job on their end if they want to. They can assemble more pages just using this constructor, you know? And goes without saying that simply following the approach is not sufficient, it's not enough. There have to be additional tools which enhance and speed up the development. They're different for everyone. So some of those we are still using in our everyday job. They are a robust solution for almost all our dev needs in terms of front end. So needless to say, component-based front-end development is not a panacea. There are projects which might benefit from it. There are projects which might not. So one has to be careful when making this choice of the technology and the approach, because their decision might affect the product output, the product delivery, and the outcome of the product. You may fail your clients, and that's not going to be all right. So, like with every approach, there are pros and cons. And let's have a look at the positive sides of component-based approach. So the big plus is, it's like I said, it's perfect for big projects. You speed up the development at a phenomenal speed. Robustness of the code is still there, and most importantly, the solution is scalable. You can scale this thing if you want to. Your client can scale it if they want to. They can easily start assembling more pages. 100 pages, okay, that's fine. 150, cool, no problem. The most important thing is they need to be more or less similar, utilizing similar components. And again, entry level is low. One does not have to possess strong senior level skills like React.js, whatever, to be able to do the job. A skilled front-end developer in your team would be sufficient, who would lead the whole team of devs. As for the negative sides, I wouldn't call them negative. I would say those are the drawbacks, which are pretty much obvious, but still, component-based approach won't make sense for small and mid-sized projects, simply because the initial development might take much more time than the traditional one. So it won't necessarily reduce the turnaround time for you guys. Fancy, complicated design. I also regard it as design craziness. Not going to work. In custom design, there is custom layout, and it is very hard to define what a component is going to be. Like, things are normally positioned chaotically on the design, right? You can hardly outline repeating elements. So that's basically the reason why. And there are obviously a lot of ways to increase the development time these days, both technical and methodological. And it all depends on a particular project, specific requirements, and particular situation you are in. So it's crucial that the decision maker analyzes those input data and comes up with the right approach which will work for your specific case. For SiteCraft and that huge contract, it was a component-based approach in front-end development. Breaking the bounds of traditional development helped us to explore new opportunities, restructure our daily workflow, and bring the routine HTML, CSS tasks to the new level. Like I said, the team was so excited about trying something new. After the project was over, they were all super excited. They wanted to do more stuff like that. And we did do more stuff like that. So, guys, I'm looking forward to talking with you after the main part is over. I would be very grateful to answer your questions. And if someone has similar experience with this technology, with this approach, I would be super happy to hear that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys soon.